Okay, first I'd like to introduce myself. I come from SCHAEFER and I'd like to welcome all of you to our Lift Experts Day. I'm from SCHAEFER, my name is Saalmüller and I'm responsible for project management, sales, field service and construction projects. So I'd like to talk about a topic that affects all of us nowadays, and we're going to have a closer look afterwards. We are suppliers for displays, for panels, for elevators, acoustics. So everything you see in an elevator, in a lift, all of that comes from us. So the development of the COVID pandemic, how will it continue? The second wave came, the third wave. Will there be another one? And nobody knows if there will be another wave. You can see it in the numbers. In Russia, the situation is horrible. In Romania, it's very, very difficult. And in Germany, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And we see that even in Germany, in some places, we're struggling. But we will see how it continues. What's sure is that it's not over yet. And I brought you some numbers. You can see also children are affected now. You can see how it coincides with the vacation time, with the holiday time. And we can see how many people are vaccinated here on this graph. It started well with the vaccination. It started very well. Since yesterday, we're at 76%, but there won't be herd immunity yet, the experts say. There are still critics, people who doubt the existence of the virus, and nowadays we talk about the third vaccination as well, about the booster vaccination. We also talk about different immunities, like, for example, the people who recovered, the ones who are vaccinated, and so on. So it seems as if it's not over yet. And here you can see it as well. There are still many letters on the Greek alphabet, so we will see what happens. There's the Brazilian variant, the South African, the British, and so on. So there are many mutations, and we'll see. It's not over yet. I brought some numbers, data, facts about what Corona did. We see the short-time work in Germany. We still see that we're still struggling. And yesterday we talked about it in the evening, about the hotel sector, the hotel industry. It's very bad situation for them. Many workers, employers went to other places, left their work, so it won't improve a lot in the near future, apparently. We can see the employment situation stabilized a little bit, but also the topic of home office is a big topic. You might know it. Many companies think about reducing, minimizing their offices. Many people say, I want to continue working at my home office. It's very nice. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to drive. There's no traveling time, and so on. So there are many recent topics. And of course we have economic consequences. We just heard about it. You can see the inflation rate in Germany is moving upwards drastically. We also see we had a lockdown, plant closures, and so on. Many things that we have to deal with. And then comes the lift. We just want to construct lifts. We want to manufacture lifts, and all of a sudden you have to deal with topics like bacteria, air, disinfection, materials, different parts of the lifts. So how about the displays are a big topic for us now. Also another topic, the hospital. You can see 400 to 600,000 hospital infections per year at 10 to 15,000 people die every year without taking into account COVID. And here we have, even for staircases, we have concepts for disinfection. And now slowly we're getting the first requests for those. So people started to ask for hygiene concepts for the lift car. So all of a sudden you have to deal with this topic. All of a sudden you have to think of solutions. The hospitals obviously are the first ones who are trying to implement those solutions for display elements, for example, because all of those things have to be taken into account in the hygiene concept. I think you know all the information, you know the news. A woman infected her neighbor on the elevator, on the lift. And, well, you know, it's a difficult topic. It doesn't make it easier. But those are everyday topics the media is reporting, the press is reporting about. You can see the new normal. Probably you know that yourself. Do you still press the buttons with your finger, or are you using your elbow already? Maybe with the lighter, as we can see on the picture, but all of this belongs to the new normal. So these are very new requirements for the operation elements. It starts with the planning. So how is the new planning? You can see it on the right side as it was before, with 8 people, 10 people in the lift car, but nowadays it's maximum 4 people. So this has a big impact, obviously, on the conveying or the transportation capacity. So which transportation capacity can still apply today? Can we still use it? Can we still think of the same transport capacity as before? So it's a very difficult topic for us who plan those lifts, who design and so on. So how will the future building look? Then, of course, the contact areas, surfaces, and the air in the lift car. So which are the main routes of transmission? For the air, of course, we have our masks on, but for the contact areas, we don't have a glove. We touch it directly. And if you have a look at the data, you can see this is data from the German Institute for Pandemics. And we see that those viruses can survive on those surfaces for around 2 hours. So if we change different factors, we can see that maybe they will be able to survive for only 1 hour. But, of course, if you think about how many fingers touch those buttons within an hour, so we have to take many things into account. And we're having those debates at our company, obviously. So you have this button for the visually impaired, for example, where they read with their fingers, and there, of course, exists the risk of infection. And all of a sudden, those are key topics we have to think about. We have to find solutions, and proper solutions. Of course, the same problem with handrails in stairwells, in escalators, in lifts, and of course the operating elements as well. We have touch displays, we have light switches, and there are many different requirements. Till now, we just had usual buttons. But, well, we clean them 3 times a day with disinfectant, and we use it. We press it with our elbows. And of course, disinfection, the more aggressive, the better. But that means that I need very differentiating operating elements because they have to be waterproof. If we just push the button with our elbow, then of course we have to make it more robust to protect it against vandalism. Also, the question about chlorine as well. Will it be damaged by the chlorine, by the cleaners? So all of a sudden we are talking about topics we've never thought about before. So we as component manufacturers, we have to think of new solutions. The air, next topic. You can see the route of transmission would be 1.5 meters. But in the lift is not very big. And also it's about the resting time or the stay, the time of stay you're in a room. So let's have a look at how many people pass through those lifts. How is the circulation of the air in the lifts? Because most of the time we cannot guarantee it. So I wrote it down here. Of course, we have lifts, we have hallways, and let's have a look at the measures. We have to ensure sufficient ventilation, air exchange, of course, but how will we do that? We can have longer door opening times, we can do that, some manufacturers do that, but of course that will reduce, we have to reduce the capacity as well. And the topic, the disinfection of the air in the car of the lift. The buttons from our side, I would refer to the Interlift quickly. What's about the air? There's some stuff on the market already, some things I would like to present to you now. And there are, of course, demands for the air disinfection and for the disinfection of the buttons. So how can I clean the air in the car? The most effective way would be HEPA filters, H-E-P-A. So they're called class 13 or 14, and they are filters which are perfectly well fit, but you can still see that those HEPA filters are very effective, but they have to be changed by a specified company. So it's a filter that filters bacteria and so on, so you cannot just take it out. It's not just any person who can take the filter out and clean it, so we have to have specialized personnel for that. It has to be cleaned chemically and we have to decontaminate it. And there are special filters based on silver and copper ions. Of course, those work as well. We can disinfect by means of plasma technology as well. There are many offers on the market right now, and also the mean of UVC light. Cold fogging is a possibility, one can do that, but it's also very difficult in a lift car. Thermal treatment, also a way, of course. With fire, disinfection with fire, it's not going to work really. So you see that there are many possibilities, but in the practice, in real life, there are going to be 2-3 means we're going to apply, like for example, this plasma technology or the UVC light. A little excursion we have here about the rays, world of radiation. So let's have a look where the UVC can be found. UVA radiation would be a sunburn, just for you to get an idea. And those would be 250 nanometers. So this is the most effective way of disinfection. So the UVC filter would be the best mean. The mode of operation, the effectiveness, you can see it. Because many people ask, how can that happen? How can it work? We just have a lamp, we just have a ventilator. How can we actually disinfect the air there? And you can see it here by applying those UVA radiation lamps. The microbes are inactivated within fractions of a second if the dose is sufficient. So it's nothing new, not a new invention we would be using in a lift. It's been existing for a while and used for a while. It comes from the sector of from the food industry. Water is disinfected the same way. We also use UVC for disinfecting water, but also it's used in hospitals, clinics, wherever you have to disinfect the air. We're using UVC. Influencing factors on the efficiency of disinfection. So, as I mentioned, there are many things on the market. It depends on the length of the radiation of the rays, and the power of the UVC lamp is important as well as the duration and the volume of air circulated. So how big is my lift car? Is it suitable for the size of the lift? Where do I have to position the lamp? And I've seen products where there's just a little LED, which supposedly is a UVC lamp, and if you just put it on the ceiling, then on the floor it won't do anything. So be a little careful with that. And as you can see, also the distance of the irradiated medium is very important. So we need a certain distance. And the bigger the distance, of course, the more microbes survive. So, for you to take away, you can see, you also have to compare, you also always have to take a look at the different products, the power of the UVC lamp, for example, what effect does it have, then this ozone generating frequencies, this is also a factor. So this lamp creates ozone light, which can damage the eyes. So there are lamps with a certain type of glass to protect our eyes from this light. Some have it, some don't, so be careful with that too. And of course there have to be safety measures met when you open the device, when you open the lamp. So again, we need specialized personnel. So what is the necessary maintenance interval? What is the sound level? And so on. So many people say, okay, I got this air disinfection device. What do I have to do? Do I have to do a regular maintenance? Do I need safety mechanisms? What do I need? So those are topics then you also have to deal with then. As I mentioned in the beginning, you have to think about it. You have to find solutions. So what can we do in order to fulfill those hygiene concepts? You can see we have those disinfection stations in front, outside, or at the entrance of the lift. Do we still have to press the button? Maybe we connect it with our smartphone, and then we can we don't have to touch the buttons anymore. Germ reducing touch plates as well, stainless steel reducing microbes, maybe a foot switch as well, or the disinfection of the car air. All of those are things that are relevant for us, that are important for us, and we have to take all of them into account with the next installation we are doing. So different types of protection, protection for vandalism, protection for microbes. What are the materials we can use? Do we have to use a rough materials or smooth materials? So all of us, it's new for all of us. We all had to deal all of a sudden with those topics, and we are forced to. So let's do it. Some more links. You can have a look at those in order to get a little deeper into a topic if you want to. We also have a link for air disinfection, inactivation of microbes, radiation, cold fogging, and so on. Okay, then we're done. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, you can ask them maybe also personally in the break afterwards. And let's see what the future brings. Thank you so much.